What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We've got a confirmation of new content coming, 10 minutes of gameplay that will be premiering tomorrow, and this is a follow-up to what we discussed recently about massive news coming to the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We just made that video. There was multiple content creators. Nintendo Prime was one of the ones that spearheaded this, also Andres Restart and more, that talked about how there could be some new information on the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming as soon as Tuesday. So shout outs to them for getting that information right. Now, on the Spawncast this past Saturday, Nate the Hate kind of seemed to confirm, yeah, we're probably going to be getting something. That's the reason why I made the massive Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom news video could be coming soon, and I discussed what we could see in there. But let's get into the official information here and talk a little bit more about how big this is for Nintendo and what's going to happen. So, officially, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom 10-minute gameplay video to premiere on March 28th. We get an upcoming look at the sequel with Mr. Aonuma himself. So Nintendo will showcase roughly 10 minutes of gameplay from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom with series producer Mr. Aonuma on March 28th at 7 a.m. PT. That is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The company announced you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, and I will be 100% live reacting and streaming the gameplay. This will be happening. I will be doing it 100%, so look out for that, guys. I will be taking care of that bright and early, at least here on the West Coast, to stream this gameplay and to live react to what's probably going to be some really good gameplay. Now, here's a little bit of an overview of the game for those, for some reason, if you don't know about it. Let's just talk just about this and then we'll get into some other things. So, an epic adventure across the land and skies of Hyrule awaits in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for the Nintendo Switch. The adventure is yours to create in a world fueled by your imagination. In this sequel, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you'll decide your own path through the sprawling landscapes of Hyrule and the mysterious islands floating in the vast skies above. Can you harness the power of Link's new abilities to fight back against the malevolent forces that threaten the kingdom? Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is due out on Nintendo Switch on May 12th. So another reason why I decided to make the video about the massive news coming, why I thought this information could be correct, is because Nintendo had been heavily promoting The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on Twitter. Every single time I went through my timeline, there was a new ad for it. And when I say new, I mean that same ad, or at least trailer that we've seen before, but they've been promoting it and paying for that promotion on various different places. They've been talking about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They've been discussing so many things. They wanted people to start talking about Breath of the Wild. They recently discounted Breath of the Wild. There were so many different things that they were doing throughout March that made me say, okay, there's definitely something cooking that's going to start up soon here at the very end of March or very early April, and now we have it here. But as you guys can see, it's only 10 minutes of gameplay, so it's like what I discussed before. Nintendo doesn't want any spoilers. Nintendo's not trying to have people sit there and have the whole game spoiled for them, because while 10 minutes is pretty good, that's a good amount of time, that's still not something like the 45 minutes that we got from Final Fantasy 16, for example, right? Not too long ago. Then we got even more gameplay at PAX East. So I do feel that Nintendo is being secretive. They are being selective. I think that this gameplay is going to be curated and cut to a precise, but I do think that we're going to get a number of main key things. And let's go over some of those key things. Let's start with improvement. What are they doing in this game over what we've seen before? I think that's going to be on clear display here. You're going to be able to see, obviously, sharper visuals. You're going to be able to see more consistent performance. You're going to be able to see how the world has changed up from a presentational style of value. Many people have accused Nintendo of just rehashing the same thing. I don't think that's the case here based off of the comparisons that I have seen from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, even in small snippets. I think that this this world looks more lush, more fluid, and I feel that it is going to look overall better all things around. Built specifically for the Nintendo Switch, no longer having to be rushed for the Switch launch and also be on 2 different systems. They will display how it's improved that way. Next up, it's also going to be a gameplay improvement. What have they done to actually change up the gameplay and make things fresh, make things new? Gameplay is the bread and butter of pretty much every Zelda game. It's the bread and butter, and I think that they're going to show in this 10-minute clip that the gameplay will be evolved. Now, what's that going to be? Well, different things that Link could do that obviously he couldn't do in Breath of the Wild. Now, we've seen some of his new powers, we've seen some of his abilities, but I think now this is where some of the other stuff kind of plays a part, like potentially Link being able to do combat in the sky, falling and diving, being able to shoot different ways. There's a variety of different gameplay aspects that were patented by Nintendo that we haven't quite seen yet, or maybe even talked about in a little bit of a leak that they had for that special edition art book. So I do think that we could see those elements, and that's one of the things that gets me the most excited. We saw like the different vehicles that he's going to be able to pilot, and he's piloting those vehicles in a various different types of ways, whether it's in the air or it's on the ground. So what other vehicles can we make, and how are those vehicles made? Is it a recipe that we use? Is it something like where we find a blueprint or something like that, or can it just be put together? Are they already found like that? Are there other ones like it? What about the stone pillar that he was flying on? How many of the different types of things can we get? These are things that we might be able to see or even build in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that they're going to show off as well. And then last but definitely not least, it's going to be the structure in addition to the story. Story and structure are 2 things that are going to make a major component of this. Now let's first talk about story, then we'll get into the structure and like the flow of everything. Story is going to be big. I think The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, they want to show that they're telling this tale, this sequel, this follow-up, and follow up on one of the weaker points of the original Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and that's having a better story. A better story to really put together this incredible world and the narrative and all the different things that they put together with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The only thing that was missing for some people was that amazing story to kind of tie everything together, and I think that this game absolutely is going to show that it's going to be better than what they did before. Now, will they completely spoil everything? No. Will you know every single thing about Tarzan long hair Link versus the regular Link and what's happening? Probably not, but I think they'll give us a bit more of a synopsis of what happened maybe right after Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or maybe some type of insight on what's going on in terms of what Link is going through and if there's some type of time travel or not. But I think that the story is going to be a heavy emphasis as well in terms of just the setup. Not like they're going to show us a bunch because it's only 10 minutes, but that story in terms of what they're going to do is absolutely going to be a part of this as well. Now, the structure is also incredibly important, ties into all aspects of the game, like I'm going to discuss here. And the structure with this is that how does the game flow? Where does it kind of start off? How do you do things from one point to one point? How are the shrines, the dungeons? What's going on there? How do you navigate this world? What is the flow or structure of the side quests compared to the main quest? How do things lay out? Is it really going to just be open like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you wake up, you go out there, you can follow a guided path, or you can kind of go do whatever you want? I'm really interested to see the flow and structure of this game and how it ties into all the different aspects that I've already discussed here, because I think people are looking at that too. Now, I feel that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be one of those games that does incredibly well, and this 10-minute gameplay video I think is going to probably change a lot of people's minds. Some people have been like, well, I'm buying the game, but I'm not so sure on it, or maybe even there's other people that don't know about the game. Maybe this will finally get them to say, okay, well, what's going on here? Now, I've discussed multiple times, and also with proof and evidence, if you look at like the Amazon sales, right? The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is still dominating the sales charts, pre-orders and everything. I'm pretty sure Nintendo has secured a ton of pre-orders on the eShop too. I'm pretty sure there's many other places. I've talked with distributors where there's a lot of pre-orders. People are excited for this game. But people were also saying, well, wait a minute, since they're not marketing or they're not showing it, they are scared, or that they don't know what they're doing, or that it's not going to do as well. So I think that at this point, that's going to stop, right? I don't think there's going to be any doubt, because now you're getting that marketing that you've been saying that they should have been doing, they should have been doing, they should have been doing. But you can clearly see with it only being 10 minutes and with them waiting a bit, that they really want to make sure that it's a special experience for gamers out there. But this 10 minutes should be pretty good. They announced it. At this point, obviously, it's going to be edited and it's going to be really, really sharp in terms of what they're showing. So I feel that this is going to be a nice boost. And once again, it's good for everyone all around. The people who said, okay, well, I don't really want to see too much more, it's only 10 minutes. And the people who were complaining that Nintendo's afraid to market their own game, or that they don't know what they're doing, or they don't know how to market a game despite being the market leader when it comes to selling first-party games. There were people that were saying Nintendo's dumb for this and they really have no idea. Well, here you go. You've also got your content to look forward to March 28th at 7 a.m. PT, 10 a.m. Eastern. So very excited for that. Once again, guys, I will be covering it. I will be live streaming it, so it should be great. What are your thoughts on this, guys? And check out some of my previous Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom content right here on the screen. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.